If you somehow missed my tweet spam about it over the last week, Gunmetal Arcadia Zero is out now. You can find it on the Humble Store and itch.io, and it should be hopefully coming to Steam soon. I'll paste the Greenlight campaign details in the links below this video. But yeah, that's out. You should play it. It's really good, I think. This week I've been working on items in the roguelike Gunmetal Arcadia. Items is everything that I'm doing for the month of November, and I'm starting by taking all the items and upgrades that I had in Zero and bringing those over to the roguelike game and starting to get them fixed up and working the way items need to work in this game, spawning from treasure chests and, equipping when they should or shouldn't, and being able to be sold or not sold to NPCs and all these sorts of things. So I guess I'll switch over to the game and just sort of talk through what I've been doing as I go through it. I guess for starters here, so these are all of the existing item icons. Some of these don't yet spawn in the game. The melee weapons and stuff, I don't have those spawning yet. Those will probably be first thing next week. But the various upgrades to carry capacity on ammo and bombs, various upgrades to jump height and things like that. You can find those in the world now as treasure chest drops, and it will use the same icon in the world and in the store. So there's that link there between those. In the editor, I've been porting all the content over. So I had upgrades from Zero that were down here. I've made copies of those and tagged them all as RLGA, Roguelike Gunmetal Arcadia. Started making some changes there. Basically, anything that can spawn from a treasure chest is now considered to be an RLGA item in my entity definitions, and it just means it has some extra markup that tells it how to work, and they can spawn in all these different scenarios and stuff. But I'll go ahead and start playing the game here real quick and just hopefully get some good items to spawn. One thing that I did right off the bat is put a treasure chest in the first room, mostly for testing, but it actually feels really good. I might leave it in there for the shipping version. I think I'm going to play as a different character this time. I haven't done Thrush in a while. Let's do this. So if you played Zero, Thrush is a character who you meet in Chapter 3. He's one of the Wild Elves. In the roguelike game, he's playable. He has a higher jump height than everyone else. It's about 50% higher. And he starts with this weapon. It's a new one that I've added to the roguelike game. I'm calling it a long dagger. I have some other name in the fiction, but I don't remember what it is. Fang, yeah. So I felt like there was sort of a gap between the really small dagger, that looks like Link's sword from Zelda 2, and then the Talon short sword. So this sort of fills that gap. So yeah, there's an item you get here right off the bat. This is the Adjunct Catalyst. If you played Zero, this is the thing that lets you walk through lava without taking damage. Sort of a strange thing to get right off the bat in level 1, because you aren't really going to see lava until the end of the game. But it's definitely useful to have once you get to that point. I guess I don't remember if I showed any gameplay footage on camera the last couple of weeks, so I'm sort of forgetting what has or hasn't changed since the last time I showed this. Some of these color palettes have been improved. I wanted to make these rooms a little more recognizable, so if you see this white and red color palette, or light gray and red, that's always a hospital or healing inn. You can pay for healing there. Yeah, these rooms are blue and brown, or either rooms with treasure chests or challenge rooms. So blue chests have items in them, so that'll give me extra heart. Actually, did that give me 2 hearts? I think it may have. Yeah, it probably did. I probably know why that's happening. There's some markup that I sort of tried to generalize up to a higher level on the entity hierarchy, and probably did not remove it from the code down below. So what's happening there is, I guess, items are being equipped twice when you pick them up. So it's applying the effects of that pickup twice and giving me 2 hearts instead of 1. So that's definitely something I need to fix soon. But yeah, the little like pop-up description that appears when you grab those items. Right now it just has that sort of placeholder text there. So it's like very short description goes here. But yeah, I basically felt like I needed that sort of like in the Binding of Isaac when you pick up an item and it has a description there that might just say like, plus health, plus damage or whatever. Oh, so I just went through there. That's, locked doors can appear in the world. They will never block off the critical path because I can't guarantee that you would have keys available. But, if you see those, it usually means there's just one room branch to the side that could have any number of things in it. Of course, stone chests require bombs to open and contain various things, keys, large ammo packs, those sorts of things. So I've made some changes to how the faction vendors work. In Zero, the first time you run into one of these guys, you can choose to take the sigil or not, and that means that you've joined that faction. It sort of works the same in this one, but every time you meet a member of the same faction, you can take another sigil, and those will have bonuses, upgrades that will stack. So like, right now it still only does the same thing of providing a bonus to like buying and selling rates when talking to those guys, but eventually probably the Gunmetal Vanguard sigil will give you like a damage boost or something, and maybe the Seeker sigil will give you a random chance to block damage or something. I haven't figured out exactly what they'll be yet, but they will be things that can stack and concatenate, so that every time you find one of those guys, you can take another sigil and get more of those same effects. Otherwise, it works the same. Once you've taken one faction's sigil, you cannot switch to the other. But since this is a roguelike game, and you will be starting and restarting multiple times, there's that effect is not super permanent. But of course, one of the promises of this game from the start is that those sorts of effects may carry over in some way to future sessions, and that's where starting next month I'll be working on the legacy system and figuring out exactly what all those sorts of things will be. Yes, I have just enough to pay for healing. Good. So I was hoping a few more blue chests would appear, so I would have a chance to spawn more items. We'll see. Huh, that's interesting. These in-world locked doors are actually kind of rare. I'm surprised to have seen 2 of them this game already. But yeah, since I took the Vanguard sigil, this guy won't talk to me. Sort of what you would expect from Zero. The shopkeepers probably I'm going to right now they just sort of have like every item in the game, just for testing purposes, but probably they will work similar to Binding of Isaac, where they have like 1 or 2 items available that are the same items that you could potentially find in treasure chests, just available for money now. So, let's see how that goes. Right, that's working. And we'll see how this goes. If you played Zero, this is the boss of the catacombs in that game. I have not rebalanced any of the bosses, so the amount of health this guy has is appropriate for the 4th or 5th chapter. I guess it was the 4th chapter of Zero, which is not really where I want him to be when fighting him in the first level, so we'll see how this goes. I don't have a sub-weapon too, I don't have the combat bracers, so this is an inoptimal fight for a number of reasons. I would not be surprised if I die here. This is actually probably my favorite boss in the game. I like the sort of strategy of like, you want to kill the clones because they're spitting pellets at you, but once the clones are dead, then the guy can teleport and spawn more clones. But then also you want to kill the clones because they have a chance to drop items, so more hearts, more ammo. Ammo's not doing me any good right now because I don't have a sub-weapon, but if I did, that would be important. But I think I'm gonna die here. Oh. Shield, yeah. Not dead yet. Ah, there it is. So yeah, I definitely need to rebalance the bosses to have an appropriate amount of health for whatever level you're fighting them on. But bosses do have a chance to appear now in every level, and I think at this point I have all of the bosses from Zero implemented in this game. I think there's one mini boss that I've left out, and that's the Grub and Grail combo from the 3rd chapter of Zero. I'm just not sure there's a good way to get those guys into this game, so I'll probably leave that one out, but pretty much everyone else I've migrated over to this game now, so that much is working at least. But yeah, I guess starting next week I will be working on like getting the melee weapons to spawn from treasure chests, and then figuring out what other sorts of upgrades and abilities will be available. Definitely, things like stat upgrades, damage boosts. Of course, I already have increases to the health cap, but probably, increases to jump height, increases to movement speed, all of those sorts of things. I'll definitely want items that can, cover a wide range of those. And, again, like in Binding of Isaac, have multiple items that have different values there. So maybe you find an item that does a small increase to damage and a small increase to movement speed, those sorts of things. Just so there's a wider variety of options. I would like to do a few more sorts of active abilities. Maybe something that could replace the sub-weapon, go into the slot where it's activated with the Y button, but rather than being an item that you throw like a sub-weapon, it would maybe be something that is sort of like toggled off and on and just like drains your ammo, sort of like draining batteries, and has some active effect like, suppressing damage or giving you a larger damage boost during that time, those sorts of things. I haven't yet started prototyping that. I don't know how feasible it will be, but that's definitely one of my goals. Other thoughts I've had, and none of these should be taken as promises because I won't really know how feasible anything is until I start working on it, but I've been wanting to get some sort of a dodge mechanic in this game, something where you see a projectile coming at you, you don't have time or room to jump out of the way, but you can just sort of dodge and roll past it. That might be a little bit too risky and too aggressive to be taken on with 3 months left to ship this game. That's the sort of thing that I would have liked to start prototyping 2 years ago, but we'll see. I guess it depends on how long it takes me to get all the other stuff implemented first, as to whether it's hi cat as to whether it's worth it to try to prototype those things. But I definitely feel like this first week of development on items is already starting to feel good. I've played through the game a few times this week in between shipping Zero and doing a few bug fixes on that, and yeah, it's having that feel of escalation in the player's own abilities, which is something that I talked about in previous videos about not having that. So it's nice that that's coming along, and hopefully by the end of this month that will be in a good place, and the legacy system next month will sort of flesh out that sort of same experience across multiple sessions. And hopefully I can land this game in a really good place by next February. Cat, you're kind of in the way. Sorry, you need to get down. As always, thanks for watching. This series is supported through Patreon. I want to give a shout out to patrons Jace, Benjamin, and Opa Nana for their contributions. You can find the links to my Patreon campaign below. There is not a new patron exclusive playable build this week. Just, with shipping 0, I haven't had time to get a build stable enough to ship, but there should hopefully be one of those next week. So if you are a patron, you can keep an eye out for that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.